Hi there guys, welcome to the channel once again. We're here at Village Honda Calgary, and that's my buddy Mike over there. Mike's the sales rep here at Village Honda, and he did me the honor of providing me with our test drive vehicle today, which is a 2023 Honda CR-V Hybrid. It's the redesigned Honda CR-V Hybrid, and fantastic LED blinkers there as you notice. And we're just going to be going for a quick test drive right here. Village Honda is here in the northwest area of Calgary, and Mike has been my friend for a very, very long time. So if you do want to check anything they have in stock, they have new and used vehicles, and they go quite quickly, as you notice in the lot. There's not a lot of new vehicles out here, but they do have used vehicles and in between. So visit here, ask for Mikey, and he'll be glad to help you guys on your next vehicle purchase. So right here, we're looking at the 2023 Honda CR-V Hybrid. And how do you know if it's a hybrid? You have two chrome pieces over here that indicates hybrid. And if we look quickly over here at the same year, same model, but different spec, I believe this is the SE, the Sport, sorry. On the Sport, there's no chrome, just black grills, blacked out. Beautiful looking, but like I said, you go over here, you have those two chrome indicators. So from the front, you know it's a hybrid. And let's go around the side. I love this color, by the way. It's like a graphite, not matte, but glossy kind of dark gray. Yeah, and with black alloy rims. And I believe the size on the tire is 235 55 R19. So these are 19-inch rims, disc brake front and back. And if we can step right here, it's a bit of snow. You notice there's a Touring, so this is the top of the line, and all-wheel drive, obviously, and the hybrid badge, which is a little hybrid badge over there. Dual exhaust, chrome tip, not the actual exhaust. The exhaust is on the bottom, and yeah, beautiful looking Honda CR-V. This one also comes with a sunroof over there. If you notice, blacked out door mirrors, the Honda Sensing safety suite fully specced out. If you notice the camera on the top of the windshield, that's part of the Honda Sensing safety suite. And you have those two sensors on the bottom there. So beautiful looking Honda CR-V Hybrid. 23 is a replacement of the 1.5 turbo I believe they had in the old model, and now it's a 2-liter direct injection hybrid system. The hybrid motor, if you notice, is going to be sitting right here. So what would you expect? And before we go into the specification and the fuel economy, I do like the fact that Honda provided the struts. In this category of vehicles, most times you have a prop rod, but in this model, and I think in most models, you're going to get the strut system, which is very, very handy if you're wanting to use one hand to lift the bonnet up or the hood up. So I like that fact. That's that. So what do you expect from that engine? On the average, you should get 6 liter to 100 kilometers, whatever that translates into MPG for my American audience, but 6 liter to every 100 kilometer driven, which is pretty good. The most efficient car in any category as far as hybrid goes is like 4.5, which is like, I believe, used to be the Ioniq, the Hyundai Ioniq, but that's a very small vehicle. For an SUV, 6 liter to 100 kilometers is fantastic. And I believe that should take you around 700 kilometers or 800 to a tank, which is also phenomenal. What do we have here? The rear trunk, it's a push to open and push to close. And I believe one touch where you can set it and touch to open. So that's a neat feature. It's pretty handy. It's very, very big opening right here. As you can see, this is more than adequate for space. So that's for the trunk. I'll have the liter capacity in the description if I can. I'm gonna put this vehicle in reverse so I can show you guys the backup camera. You have different angles. You can have that preset. You can have a top-down view. You can have a bumper view. You can have your traditional view, and you don't get the 360 camera system in the top of the line, but you do get a very decent resolution camera in the rear, and it's wide angled as well in this setup. So you can't complain for resolution or quality. It's not the best in the industry, but it's as good as it gets as far as this budget or this price point in the industry. So driver door right here, we have a memory settings for two driver profiles if you choose, and you can set it with that button here, indicate which setting you want to hit, and it would adjust automatically to whatever setup you have. You have a tilt telescoping steering wheel right here, and if you notice, the thunk on the door is quite nice. It's quite solid. It makes you feel like this is a solid vehicle. You can tilt and pull out or pull in, so telescope and tilt, which is nice, and I'm gonna have it right here. Beautiful setup where you can see visibility in this vehicle is fantastic. You have the Bose audio on this model, which is the top of the line. You don't get a Bose audio in all setups, and then you have a very dark finish for the roof line, which I do quite like. Usually it feels a little dark and claustrophobic in most vehicles, but in this car it actually looks the part, especially going with that gloss matte texture of the paint outside. I think this is a good complement to that paint color scheme. You have semi-digital display over here for your climate controls, and you have this infotainment system is quite beautiful to look at. And even though we're facing the sun, I don't believe you're gonna get a lot of sun glare. Having a physical volume knob is something to behold in 2023. It's nice that they have this new infotainment touch screen. It's a 10.2 inch touch screen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And the Touring model, you're gonna have your wireless charging pad over here. You're also gonna have a semi-digital display, the analog tachometer on the right, and I believe about a 7 or more inches touch, not touchscreen, but LCD on the left, with a very nice crisp display. I do like the green indicator, which kind of resonates with this being the hybrid model. We're gonna be going for a quick test drive here. For this Touring model, it's fully spec'd out as you would expect. You have the heated steering wheel, you have your full cruise control features over here. You have your volume up and down with this nice textured feel for this knob here. You have your home button, which you can use to access the digital display over there. You have your trunk release. You have your stability control, your defroster, and all the AC controls over here. And you have physical knobs. If you notice, there's a knurled finish on the knobs right here, and there's also a tactile feedback you're getting when you increase or reduce the temperature. It's a dual zone climate control system here. You also have your drive modes, and when you click that, you have eco, snow, normal, and sport. We're just gonna put it in eco because we're in hybrid and we really want to get that hybrid feel. You have your 12 volt power socket over there. You have your USB Type-C and your regular USB here, and like I said, you have the wireless charging mat over there, which is very convenient. I have my S22 Ultra sitting right there. You also have your cup holders here, which is a decent size cup holder. You have also storage, which is quite deep, and you have this stuff where you can put it in two different positions. You can have your keys in there if you choose, just for demonstration, and it's a decent size. So for this year, Honda has redesigned their key fob, and I do quite like this. It's not as big as it usually used to be. You have the lock, unlock, trunk release, a hold button, and the panic button, and you have the key release on the side here, which is quite accessible and nice. It's a smaller design, and I like that quite well. So we're sitting. How I would have my sitting position in this vehicle, and I believe this is high and all the way back. So I'm just gonna go to the back seat again to demonstrate how much legroom we have in the back. I'm 5'11", 85-degree door angle, beautiful design on the door here, gloss plastic black, but still, even with the seat high and all the way back, there's enough room for my leg. On the bottom there, you have your USB Type-C 2 ports here and your air vents in the rear here. more than enough space to sit three. Um, that's about 3 inches of headroom. This one has just the best basic sunroof. So as I was saying, enough legroom, enough headroom for the average 6 foot, 6'2" adult. You should be able to fit here fine. There's an indentation here that creates even more headroom, which is nice. And I'm sitting in a little bit of a reclined position, but you get the idea. Seat pockets in the back here, and yeah, speaker grills on the side, speaker grills down here. Fantastic. See, it's a fantastically wide opening. It's 85 degrees. Literally, you can fit any side of baby seat you're thinking of putting in the back. And if you see the isofix point right here, it's exposed. So that's pretty neat. It's very easy to fit any child seat you'll be considering putting in your vehicle. And lastly, also, that's a recline feature, which allows you to recline the chair like so, which is a huge distance. So you can find your level of comfort, in this vehicle. Huge entry point, and as you can see, just gonna demonstrate. I'm 5'10", 5'11", long torso, and I have more than enough legroom. About this hybrid setup, we do have here the battery pack for the rear electric motor, I believe, sitting where you traditionally have the spare tires. So that's pretty neat. And also right here, you have a run flat kit sitting on the corner. So instead of having a traditional spare tire, you have a run flat kit, and you have your battery system tucked away underneath the cargo mat area. So fantastic setup, beautiful one-touch close, and rear would have your LED lights, brake lights, but your indicators are incandescent indicators. But your reverse light there is the LEDs as well. So a little bit of a letdown as far as the LEDs. I know the older models had LED strips. Honda kind of chipped out on those lights, but that's what you get in this mostly in this category. So heading out of the Honda dealership here, it's a nice, beautiful day. About 5 degrees or -2 earlier in the day, but I think it's warmed up to about 5 degrees now. Just gonna give it a quick up and go, and that's very, very decent. I'm halfway throttle, but the up and go is quite decent. We're gonna go down here just to test a little bit of a turning radius. There's a little bit of a loop. I want to show you guys how this vehicle turns. So we're just gonna go down the hill over here in a second. And this is surprisingly quiet, I might add. I expected it to be louder because I drove the 1.5 liter last year, and to my surprise, that was a little louder than I anticipated. But today, right here, this feels quite quiet, almost premium, I might say. So we're just gonna do a quick turn around here. Gonna do full turn, and it's like a two turn radius for the steering. Decent turning radius as well. Just wanted to give you guys an idea of what that looks like. You know what? I hear it sound like a simulated gear system in the transmission, and I believe that's probably simulated because it's not like a 6-speed or a 10-speed or anything. It's also, I hear, not a traditional CVT. So what's happening mechanically is that the engine's putting power into the electric motors, and the electric motors are driving the wheels most of the time. Every now and then there's going to be a clutch engagement that allows the engine to directly drive not the transmission, but yeah, to be latched onto the transmission and to drive the tires. So that's something that mechanically is a little different to your traditional CVT hybrid system, and which is also good because I think it makes this vehicle a little more competent under adverse weather conditions than the traditional CVT would, and it also feels more engaging. Right now, it feels almost like a traditional six-speed, if you ask me. So just something to expect when you're going to test drive this. And yes, that's quite reassuring to have. And I think for most drivers as well, you're not going to be wanting more for power, because sometimes when you're testing like a 1.5 liter or like a direct injection 2-liter non-turbo, you find that you're wanting for power when you're trying to pick up speed, or just when you're trying to get more engagement from the vehicle. But in this car, even though this has just been like 2 minutes of me driving it, I find that I'm a bit more confident, with the power band coming out of the engine, which is quite neat. Also, I'm not hearing this groan you get when you get into a 1.5 or 1.6 liter. With this 2-liter, it's sounding a bit smoother than the 1.5 in the past, which is a welcome development. I do quite fancy that. And we're going to be going on Stony, right? All right. So we're going on a little bit of an incline here, and it's not screaming bullets to get up, this little incline here. Currently, we're on eco mode, as I said, and we'll see. There's a brake hold feature also in this vehicle, which allows the car to stay steady. If I'm on a hill or on a downhill or on an uphill, it's going to hold the brakes until I touch the accelerator again. So that's also neat. I'm hoping we can get some momentum. But with this guy in our front, I doubt we're going to get anywhere in a hurry. But I will try to demonstrate how easy it is to get to 100. We're at 110 already. So you're not going to be wanting more for power, like I said. And highway cruising, we're at 100. It's not too loud. You do get a little bit of wind noise, but that's just coming from outside the vehicle. I don't hear anything on the window or from the windshield area, so that's also good. Visibility on the back, pretty good size mirror to look at the visibility from the back, and your side mirror, as I said, decent size side mirror. It's a little pushed out to the right, which is a good thing because it gives you a wider angle to see what's behind you or beside you. Yeah, overall, it drives quite well. Steering feel, I would say also, it's very direct. You're not getting too much feedback from the tire because it's an electrically assisted steering wheel for sure. It's not hydraulic based, but for an electric steering wheel, it's weighted quite well. It's not too heavy, it's not too light, it's not one finger light, which is just what you need in a vehicle like this. My sitting position right now is almost as ideal as I would want it. I can lift up higher. It's an automatic 6-way adjustment. No lumbar support or anything like that. I find my thigh support is a little bit on the short side, but I have long legs. The average person wouldn't find that as an issue. And I don't find it as an issue. It's just on the short side. So that's something to notice. But lumbar support from the back, it's actually really nice. It supports your back quite well. What else? Comfort levels, you have your wireless charging, creature and comfort. We can't test the audio because I don't have any audio to test, but I assume it should be decent for sound. It's a Bose system, and Bose always does a decent job with their audio setup. So that's for that. I do you know, surprisingly, yeah, I wouldn't say this naturally, but I do quite like this vehicle. It's what you expect. I think you're getting what you expect from a vehicle like this. Not loud, easy to drive, very you get into this vehicle and you feel at home, and you know where everything is, the buttons, the indicator, everything is, logically placed. You have a traditional shifter, which is quite nice. I know most of the other vehicles are going to touch, but I do like the traditional shifter. So that's just something. Your hazard buttons easy to reach. Everything is easy to reach and logically laid out. So that it has that going for it. And also, the hybrid doesn't feel like a hybrid, which is a compliment in itself. Um, so I do like that as well. Not lacking for power, not lacking for speed. We're just gonna give it a go. And as you can see, we're good to go. So overall, I would give it a thumbs up. It is a good vehicle to drive, and I would definitely consider this. Um, Good way to test your brakes as well. Reassuring to be able to stop on a dime. I like that. Um, and I think a lot of people would like, you know, this vehicle for what it is. I would say come over here to Honda, Village Honda in the Northwest, and speak to Mikey. Like I said, Mikey has been gracious to loan us this vehicle for this quick test drive, and I appreciate that, Mike. Um, Come see Mike here and test drive this vehicle and see how you like it. Let me know in the comment sections below what more you would like to see. If you'd like to see another review of this vehicle, if you'd like to see me show you a bit more of the infotainment features, or talk about the technical specifications. And like I said earlier in the video, the fuel economy would be about 6 liters to 100 kilometers, which is below, more than decent for a hybrid setup. And yeah, let me know in the comment sections what else you'd like to see, or if you'd like more information on the vehicle pricing and all that stuff. And I'll be obliged to answer you guys in the comment sections below. But this was Max, and thanks for joining in. Until we meet another time, catch you on the next one.